So I finished calibrating the LG C1 and I just kind of wanted to give you guys some information a lot of people have been asking. Essentially, calibration does obviously improve things, but there are some major downsides. The biggest one being you lose peak brightness and a substantial amount of it. So if that's not something that you're up for, this TV might not be the best because after you calibrate it to correct how overly blue it is, you are throwing away a lot of peak brightness. And I mean like 200 nits easy because it just gets so much dimmer than the C10 ever was. And to give you like a little idea, the C10's over here and this is over here. I mean, they're running something entirely different, so it's not really a fair test. But I mean, it's definitely dimmer. Like as I look at it, I'm telling you, this is so much dimmer now after a calibration. And I mean, obviously that's because you warmed up the overly cool color, so it's not going to be as dramatic, so to speak, as you'd want it to be. But my point being is that that's one of the really big downsides that's going to turn a lot of people off. Now, I've seen some other people asking when you go into standard or you go into vivid, is it good enough? So I'll just say you do need to adjust some things. You don't necessarily have to do a calibration. And this is my number one tip for you guys. When you get it, just throw it into this mode right here, reduce blue light. Because of how overly cool it is this year, it gets it closer to a professional calibration. It's not going to be a professional calibration. It's not going to be exact to D65, but you're closer to that ballpark and it looks a lot better. Your colors, everything just looks so much better. And it's like kind of like a cheat sheet. It's a fast way to get your results without needing too much experience. So regardless of your experience level, this is what I would recommend you do if you want to kind of create a so-called calibrated look. Otherwise, everything's going to be overly blue and blown out. I mean, look at the mountain. You know what I mean? Dead, warm from the sunlight. Look at the ocean. Dead, warm from the sunlight. That's what you want. Obviously, Vivid is just overly saturated, disgustingly so. But you guys can get the idea. So, I mean, I could do this in real time just to kind of show you guys. Jesus Christ, they have the color all the way up to 70. Wow. Okay, LG. So, yeah, I'm going to drop that down a bit. I mean, let's drop it to like 50. And then that should be fine for now. Color upgrade on high. We're going to turn that off. Damn, 70 color and color upgrade on high? Yeah, Vivid mode this year is pretty useless. That's pretty bad. That's really, you don't want to be doing that. All right, we got our peak brightness turned off. You can't really do much with that in Vivid mode, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to play with it, but so far mine looks like it's just off. But that's Vivid mode, though. So I don't really use Vivid mode. Super resolution. A lot of this stuff looks like really bad. But all right, enough of that. All right, flower, dead. Now you see the color come back to it. Butterfly, cool, dead. Life come back to it. That's what this does, and that's essentially my message. It's like, you can watch dead imagery if you want, or you can just warm it up. You don't have to pay for a calibrator. It's not necessary. And honestly speaking, it gives more depth and dimensionality. Things get a little bit better for you. So that's the point. Now, another thing that you guys have been asking in terms of, I don't know, performance is when you calibrate it, is there a difference between this and the C10? I'm sorry to say this, guys, but the C10 is the stronger TV from a calibration perspective. Once you calibrate it, you don't lose all these crazy amounts of nits. It's just, it is what it is. Where this, you're losing substantial nits. So this falls more into like the B10 territory, if I'm being very honest with you. And for that price point, I think you should wait for the prices to drop a little bit because it's too expensive. At $17.99, that's a little high to lose 200 nits after calibration. That's not something I'm too happy about. I mean, otherwise, it's a fantastic TV. I love it. I think it's wonderful, but that part, not so great. Now, one of the other things you guys have been asking is how does it perform in game mode when you do the input lag test. So that's what we're going to do now. All right, so I've got my input lag tester running right now. I've got it centered. It's going, and it's sitting at 12.5 milliseconds.